Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's January 25th, 2019. It's a Friday, and I just want to bring up a couple things for you to think about over the weekend, and let me know. I was thinking about the great ball in the sky, the sun up there, right there. And I was thinking about something about the firmament and the sun itself. And I want you to follow me on this for a minute. And I also want to tell you about the area that we live in too. This amazing plane, this flat plane that we live in, this terrarium, if you want to call it that. Imagine if above our firmament. Now, remember, if there is a firmament. I don't know. People think there is. People don't. Whatever. I don't care. Okay? Let's just, in this case, there's a firmament. Okay? Beyond the firmament, there's a second sun. Whoa! That's right. 2 of those. Okay? The second sun is actually moving with that, but on opposite sides. Okay? And it would explain a lot of things to me. Because I would like to know, when the sun goes away from us and disappears in that sky, why there's light still behind me. All right? Where is that light coming from? It's not coming from that. I know that. It could be. I don't know. I have no idea. All right? A second sun above the firmament that's reflecting off of this. That's also out there that you'll never be able to see, because if the firmament's up there, it would have to be so thick that you couldn't see beyond it. You know, just like water. You know, I mean, I want you to think about that for a minute. This guy's going. I hate it when people do this on the highway. This happens all the time on this highway. Anyway. Okay. Now, the one thing I was thinking about also too is we can relatively find out what the size of the sun is by comparing the shadows. I've seen the experiments done on them. Some people say it's a lot closer than you think. Some people say it's 73 miles away, 100 miles away, or even a couple of thousand miles away. I don't know. I really don't know. But they've used measurements and they've used calculations to just try to figure out the actual size of the sun. Now, what I was thinking to myself is, why can't we use the sun to our advantage and actually try to figure out what the size of this that we live on is by using the sun, by using the shadows, and by using the properties of the shadows, of trying to figure out how big the sun would have to be in a terrarium for our perspective to see it the way we do see it, where it follows us around and the moon. You know, follows us all over the place, everywhere we go, every turn we make, it's right there, following us, never going faster than it, and never going, behind it. You know, it's always just following us. How big does it have to be, or how big is the system that we live in for that actually to happen? Is my question. I know it's kind of. I hope you're following me on this one. It's kind of complicated, but you should see the skies right now. It's just so bad. Anyway, I mean, you got this milky cloud in the background, and then you have real clouds. I never remember seeing that shit when I was younger. It's so bad people don't see this shit. They just go about their business. Don't care. But I want you to think about that. That's the second thing I want you to think about. I want to tell you how Hollywood is controlling everyone here who watches the boob tube, and how strong they are. And how all they do is they just refabricate everything that they did that worked. Hey, look, if it works, stick with it. That's what I always say. For example, like Johnny Carson, okay? There'll never be another Johnny Carson. You'll never get somebody like that ever again. You'll get carbon copies of them. They have them right now. They're there. But they're not Johnny Carson, and they never will be. You can never replace him. But you can replace them with a carbon copy that's not that good, but will do the trick and have people still indoctrinated. Okay? It's the same with the actresses and the actors. They'll die, But they'll find somebody who's kind of like a carbon copy of him, you know? There'll never be another Frank Sinatra, you know? There'll never be another Frank Sinatra. But yet, they'll find somebody who's exactly like him, not as good, but they'll just keep the indoctrination going. Just like they keep the films going. They do sequel after sequel after sequel. And very rarely are they any good ones. And the only one I could think of when I was watching Hollywood that was actually a halfway decent sequel was, I think, Lethal Weapon, if I'm right. That was not that bad. But then it got, after 2, it just got horrible. But I mean, you know, my point is, well, Back to the Future, maybe. I'll take that, I'll acknowledge that. But the thing is this is the indoctrination level. And then they'll put little things in the movies, you know, referring to 9/11, but you won't know until it actually happens. And then you go back and you look at the movie and say, oh shit, those are the Twin Towers, you know? Or, oh shit, did he just say that? You know, that's the problem with this thing. You know, that's why we've got to come up with our own language somehow or another to figure out their language. Because they're telling you everything 15 years ago that's going to happen right now. You know, so you might as well go back to movies back to 1990 or maybe late 80s to figure out what's going to happen now in 2019. Something to think about. I want you to think about how mixed up our government is, how ridiculous it is, and what a mess it is. Because nobody knows what the other person's doing. They pass each other all the time while they're getting a cup of coffee, but they don't talk to each other. You know, this has to do this has to do that, this has to do this. And that's why NASA's perfect, okay? Because nobody knows what they're doing. They don't know what they're building. There's 4 people up top that know that the Earth is flat, and there's the other percentage that don't know, that I think they're actually fucking building something. Well, it's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere. It's going in some billionaire's freaking souvenir basement somewhere so we can laugh at us. These are all things to think about over the weekend. All things you should think about. All right. There's some other things I want to talk about, but you know what? I might put a video out during the weekend. We'll see. All right. I hope everybody had a good week. Enjoy the weekend. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos, and let me be a part of your life.